Let's learn about the area of composite figures. So we'll talk about what is a composite figure and then how do we find the area of them. Let's get ready. You're going to need notes, pencil, and a calculator. And these are composite figures. So if you look at them, they're all a little bit different. They've got the dotted lines, which is kind of nice. They normally won't have those. But you can see they're made of shapes we know already. Here we have a triangle, we've got rectangles, we've got half a circle, we've got longer rectangles. Yeah, so they're made up of shapes. So when you're finding the area of them, you'll find the area of all the different shapes. So find the area of shape 1, shape 2, and shape 3, and then you're going to add them together. So let's take a look at this. And I see a rectangle and a triangle. This whole thing is 13. This piece is 7. So sometimes you're going to have to figure out some missing measures. This is only 8 from here to here, but the whole thing here is 16. So if I look at the 13 up and down and then this piece is 7, then that must mean that this piece A to B is 13 minus 7, which is 6. And then if I look at CF as being 16, but DE is already 8, so then BD must be 8. So sometimes you're going to have to fill in some missing parts. So I'm going to do the area of the rectangle, and we know that that's length times width, so that's going to be 16 times 7, which is 112. And then I'm going to do the area of a triangle, and remember to include the 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, my base is 8, my height is 6. Be careful, some kids might think it's 13, but it's only 6 for the triangle. So then I have 4 times 6, which is 24. And then the area of the whole shape is going to be adding those together for 112 plus 24. And we get 136. My units are centimeters, and because we're doing area, it's going to be centimeters squared. Let's try this one. So we could divide this up a few ways, and different students might see it different ways. I'm going to divide it up kind of horizontally into 3 rectangles. So, and sometimes I like to write right in the picture. So this top rectangle is 12 by 3. So that's going to have a 36 area. The bottom one is 15 by 3. So that's going to be 45. And now I need to figure out this middle square. Well, looking at 12, a length of 12 there's no letters, and then a length of 7 here. So that means that the top dotted piece is going to be 12 minus 7, which is 5. And then if I look at this whole side is 12, but this piece is 3 and this piece is 3. So that must mean that the middle piece is going to be 6. So this is 6 in here. So I have a little 5 by 6, which is 30. And then I'm going to add them all up. So the area of the whole shape is going to be 36 plus 30 plus 45, which gives me 111 meters squared. And now we have this shape. In this shape, I see a rectangle and a half circle. The interesting piece on this is this half circle. This is the measurement. It's 12.56 feet. So we're looking at the circumference, and we only have half of that. Oops, circumference. So we're going to have to figure that out. I'm going to start with the rectangle. I know that that's going to be 8 times 20 for my base times height. And that's going to be 160. So let's think about the circle. And for circumference, we can have pi d. Well, I only have half of the circumference, so that's going to equal 1/2 pi d. Half of my circumference is the 12.56. And what we need to do is figure out the diameter so I can get to the radius, so I can get to the area. So diameter to radius to then area. Well, I have 1/2 and a pi. So the 1/2, I'm going to multiply everything by 2, and I get 25.12 equals pi over d. I'm still trying to get to the d, so I'm going to divide everything by pi. Best if you can use the pi button. and it tells me that D equals 7.995. That looks pretty close to 8. So let's just think about that for a minute. So if we did circumference equals pi times 8, that's going to be 25.13. That's the full circle circumference. And if we divide that by 2 for half the circle circumference, then it does come out to be 12.56. So it's okay that we call the diameter 8. And then if the diameter, the whole thing here is 8, but look at, I could have just figured it out that way. The diameter is 8, then that means the radius is 4. And again, I only have half a circle. So our area formula for a circle is area equals pi r squared. I'm going to do that and then divide by 2. So area equals pi 4 squared. So area is 16 pi. That is exact. I'm going to divide it in 2 and it would become 8 pi. So anytime you use pi, you keep pi, you are exact. So I can add the 160 and the 8 pi for my exact answer to be 160 plus 8 pi. And then if you want a decimal answer, you can just hit your pi button and you're going to get about 185.13 feet squared. So just to recap, when you're finding the area of composite figures, you want to break them up into figures that you know the shapes of so you can use those area formulas. You may have to find some missing sides and you may have to use some circles. Nice job.